welcome to the show today. This is the Jenkins Art Studio and I'm Catherine Jenkins. I'm so glad you could join us. Today we're going to do a beautiful painting. It's a poppy on gold leaf with a black background, and we have some little daisies and wildflowers. It's a beautiful, beautiful painting. So let's take a look at the one I'm working from today. There it is. It's got a beautiful gold leaf border and some gold leaf around behind the poppies. We've got some little daisies, some wildflowers. We'll try to get those all in if we have time, and it's got a beautiful gold leaf frame on it. So let's get started, and let's come on down to the palette and we'll see what we're going to use first. Oh, before we do anything, let's back up. Let's come up to my canvas that I'm working on. There we go. We've got a black acrylic background. This is a lot of preparation I've put on the canvas first to get started, just to save some time. This is black water-based paint, and then I've masked off with masking tape a little border that I can go in and gold leaf, and then I've used the same gold leaf on the background just by applying the sizing under the gold leaf with a wide badger hair brush. You put the sizing on, and I'll show you that in just a minute, and then wherever that sizing was, that's where the gold leaf is going to stick to, and wherever you don't have the sizing, of course, this is where your black background is. And then I've left the gold out of 3 circles or ovals here that I sketched out first, and those are where our poppies are going to go. Let me show you what the gold leaf looks like for some of you that aren't familiar with it. It comes in little sheets right here. Let's see if I can show you one. There we go. It's very, very fine. It's don't have the air conditioner on or any windows open because this stuff is just paper. It's just like a feather. It is so light. And once you put your sizing on, you wait for about a half hour for that to tack up, and then you apply the gold leaf sheets, and then you wipe the excess off with a paper towel. You'll wipe all these little flakes off, and that's what you'll end up with. And this is the sizing. We have the sizing. It's just like a white glue that you put on first, but you have to wait until that sets up first. And let's see what else we've done. Oh, up here on the canvas, and this is all optional. This is a little gold indelible pen that I've gone in and just sketched a few little flowers or leaves, or you could use a little bit of gold oil paint or acrylic on a little tiny brush. And this is all optional. You could do this painting just on a plain background. It could be any color you want. You wouldn't even have to use the gold leaf. This might be a little too ornate. I like ornate. We have a very Victorian home with lots of big gold leaf frames, and it's very Baroque and Victorian. So we like a lot of this stuff, this flash. So you may not like that. So we just give you ideas up here, and you can do anything you want. It's your painting. So let's get started. And I'm going to pick up some medium. And let's start with a green and sienna, or you could use green and crimson. This is sap green, sienna, very, very dark. Come on up to the canvas, and in the middle here I've got it started, and I have just crisscrossed some of this very dark. Now it's going to look black at home because it's very dark green, and I've already crisscrossed some of this color in here and down under here. And this is what will make the flowers stand out. I'm going to reach down and pick up a little more green and maybe a little yellow this time. And, oh, by the way, we're using a number 22 badger brush today. This is a beautiful brush, soft, comes to a great chiseled edge. And we're going to bring this green, there we'll add a little more green. Now as you come out, this is where the leaves are going to come out under the flowers. You wipe your brush off and just kind of lose it. Just crisscross it, messy, messy. This is what we want down here. Over here we got a little bit, and it just fades away into nothing. And up here. So we'll rinse our brush off with some turp, and we'll go down and we'll start blocking in those poppies. First of all, we'll pick up a little medium, and let's start with some crimson over here, way over here. Let's move this out of the way. There we go. Way over. Now the base tones you want very, very wet, lots of medium. And up to this top poppy. Now this is not going to show, but I am putting crimson, alizarin crimson. I'm filling in all this circle, and when I go out beyond the edge, you're going to see that? That's the crimson color that I'm putting on over that black acrylic, remember. You want real, real ragged edges. And just pull some of that green and sienna in that shades the edges. And I'm going to rinse off my brush, and we'll block all of these poppies in at one time. Pick up a little medium, and this time I'm going to dip down into the mauve or any violet color that you have. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. Now when you see me put the lighter color for these poppies on, that's when you're really going to see the true color of these flowers. But right now, with these dark base tones, because you have to go dark with your base tones and build up to the light, with the dark base tones, you don't really see it that much on the black, but you will see it when you're at home painting this. And let's go in for the bottom one. Now this color you'll see because it's a little lighter. This is going to be a white or an off-white poppy. Pick up some medium, lots of medium on the base tones. So for a white flower, we start with a gray, and in this case I've got a little bit of blue. And you could have a little green in this, you could have a little mauve. Now you can see how messy I'm applying this and how ragged those edges are. You see that I had some mauve left over in my brush? It doesn't matter. For a white flower, you've got to have all these different tones, tinted gray tones under. And that's usually what you do for a white bird or a white cat or anything, because you can't just go in right away and put your whites on. You need something under there. Let's get our centers in all of those. Oh, let's pick up some crimson. This is a little drier. Now, when I say drier, that means less medium. And come on up here. I'm going to darken this with black. I'm just going to reach down into my palette. Here it is. With a little black, crimson and black for this top guy. And I'm going to just place it in. I know it's there, and I know you can't see it, but you will. It'll make sense to you pretty soon. Wipe off my brush, just go into crimson, and I'm going to place a little bit. It's a little more pinky than the mauve. And let's put a little crimson. You will be able to see this in the middle of this one. Now when you put the crimson in, you place it in the middle with the flat of the brush. Very important, take your towel, wipe your brush off, wipe the crimson off, and brush out in the direction that the flower, the rose, or the poppy is facing. You see that? You can even take a little of that, what's on your brush, and place a little belly. Now this could, right now, could go into a rose or the poppy or many other large flowers, a hibiscus, because this is the way we start most of the real large flowers. And when we are in our workshops working, we very often start everyone with the poppy because it's the easiest flower to do, and it goes into teaching a lot about all the other flowers. And don't forget to watch all the shows, because I did technique shows, foliage, flowers. Gary's doing vase painting. He's doing some landscapes this time, so he's doing some super stuff. So I hope you catch this whole series. Okay, let's go up to the top poppy. I'm just picking up some pink. This is rose mixed with white, and this is what we call our middle tone. This is the dark or the base tone, and then I'm going to be putting on the middle tone. I'll do a little sketch in here. On the technique tape, I did place little sketches in here so you could see the petals, so this will make a little more sense. And we've got 3 back here, so we've got 3 here. These petals are flipped up this way, and these you're looking straight at. I'm going to pick up a little more of that paint, and I'll just draw the sketch on this one. This one, all your strokes head to the base or bottom of this petal. And in the back, they all head toward the middle. So when you get to doing these a whole lot, you don't have to put your sketch on anymore. You won't have to do that at all. Let's start with the back one. Now remember that push down and lift up stroke? And you're going to go all the way around this top petal. When I reach down, I'm just reaching down for more of the pink or the rose and the white. And here's another one. Push, lift, push, lift, push, lift. And when you push and lift, it releases less paint from your brush down here, so it's allowing that dark to show through. Another one. Now remember, this isn't the highlight, it's just the middle tone. In here we've got a little petal, we'll just scoot in here. And I keep reaching down for more paint, and another one. And it's just like magic. It just goes on. Now you guys can do this. If you practice technique and practice your strokes, there we go, you'll be able to do this. And I'm going to cross this one right over. You see that? Right over that one. Now we've got a little brush. It's called a mop blender. Very, very soft. And it's little tiny, like a makeup brush. Sometimes when I can't find my brush at home, I'll run in and get my makeup brush. It works great. And we'll just soften very, very lightly. Very, very lightly. We want to keep the dark where it goes gradually in. Now we'll put some outer petals. They may or may not show when we get the leaves in, but we'll see. Remember, this little guy is scooted behind the other ones. And it's going to have leaves coming out. And all your strokes head to one point. These are those little foreshortened strokes. Okay, let's get in and put the mauve one in, or the violet colored one. One of my favorite, rose and violet are my favorite colors. And I'm going to do the same thing, use that middle tone. I'm going to go back and highlight a little bit later, and let's go in for our mauve one. And we'll throw a little petal in here. Now it's a good idea always to go out and photograph. You know that we're always photographing out in gardens. And Gary and I have showed you lots and lots of photos of our garden in Ashland and other people's gardens. And we always are out photographing. There we are. Who's that blonde girl? I don't recognize myself when I'm not blonde anymore, but I was at a really beautiful garden photographing. And that day, we were photographing gladiolas, which I absolutely love, and we don't have those in our garden yet. But knowing me, we'll have them pretty soon. Okay, this is that same push and lift stroke. Down here, we'll get some little foreshortened petals. Remember, these are flipped up and these are flipped down. Let's go in and soften. Get the brush out of the way here. We'll soften the round belly there and soften this a little bit, and we'll soften this. This is a great brush, this little mop brush. Sometimes we use a large blender, but when we're just working in little teeny areas, that works great. And let's go back here. We'll get another one in. This is so fast. Fast once you learn it, but you've got to learn those strokes. And we'll bring that one right up over the other one. Okay, let's shoot down and work on that white one. And now we're going to pick up a little white, and it doesn't matter if you have pink or mauve or whatever in your brush. It's okay, because everything works. You really can't make any mistakes. And by the way, this, if I didn't say it before, this is oil paint, and if you mess up when you're at home working, and of course you have much more time than I do, you can take your time because it doesn't dry for a couple of days. And if you don't like it, it's super, because you just wipe it off. And now I got a little hair in there. You see that? You just take the corner of your brush. That's a little hair from the blending brush. And you just take the corner of your brush and pick it out. And let's soften that one. Well, that one went in easy. And we'll pick up some more white. It's kind of a dirty white right now because I got all my other colors in it. And let's get in for those little foreshortened strokes. They kind of angle. See the angle that they come off? All flowers, or just about all flowers, in nature unroll or unfurl from a center point. And so when you get out there and photograph, I use macro lenses, and you photograph and you start studying flowers, and then you come home and start sketching flowers, you're going to see that they really do almost all unfurl from a center point. Now, Gary and I, we developed this style of painting. Gosh, he was doing this over 30 years ago, and he started painting from from some of the first silk flowers that were available way, way back in the 60s. Actually, the silk flowers weren't even perfected at that time. Now they're so beautiful, they look real. During the seasons, we don't have the real ones, or the real ones in our house. I often have bouquets of silk flowers all over because they're absolutely gorgeous. We are having so much fun in Ashland. I'm in my dream world in my garden, and you'll see lots of shots of our garden in this series. Okay, let's take another brush, and I'm going to put in some stamens in the center. And I'm using a little twiggy brush, or script, or liner. We call it many, many things. And let's come on down to this white one right here. Right there, and you come out and push, come out and push, come out and push. See that? Come out and push, out, push, come out and push. And that's an easy, easy way to do those little stamens. Let's pick up maybe some orange and yellow and put some up here, way up on the pink one. Here we go. I'll wait for you. There, because I don't want you to miss any of it. Try to keep my hand out of it. Sometimes it's not always possible. And over on the purple, or mauve, or mauve, I get letters saying that this is called mauve. Well, I should know how to pronounce it because I'm originally from Canada, which is French, and the French word is mauve. But in Texas, where we teach, they just call it purple. So whatever you call it, it's beautiful. Okay, let's go back and put a teeny bit of highlight on those poppies now, and then we'll get into some leaves. I'm just picking up straight white, and let's go up to this pink one, and you just hit the outer edge, just the teeniest bit. You don't want to come all the way down the stroke. And you can ruffle up the edges as much as you want. This flower really doesn't exist. There are, of course, poppies, Iceland poppies, Oriental poppies. But this, like I said, Gary devised this poppy many, many years ago. And it really is a combination of many, many different poppies. So we just call it the Jenkins poppy. And it has become well known all over the country. Okay, down to this mauve one. And we'll just hit a few highlights. Now remember, you don't want to highlight all over, just here and there. And I'm going to soften that in. See where you get hard edges? You want to soften. This is your friend, this little guy right here, because it really softens great. Down here. Okay, let's get on some of those leaves. The leaves can be many, many different colors. When you get out and photograph and really study your flowers, you'll see that there's red leaves, there's white leaves, gold leaves, everything. So they can be just about anything, long as they go with the painting, long as they're done well, you can paint them just about any color. Well, let's go in. Oh, I've mixed a gray, blue, green color. Well, how do you mix that? You take your black, a lot of white, and then you mix green with it. And this one has black and white and blue. And we'll use that as a leaf color today instead of our basic green and sienna. And let's start over here. Where we had that green and sienna first to start with, I'm going to just bring some stems out, right like this. And let's go up to the top. And let's put some stems in here. Remember to always curve your stems. I'm using the chiseled edge. Remember to always curve your stems. And let's go back over on this side and let's get some leaves in. It's that push down, wiggle, wiggle, up and out. Now, be sure you watch all the shows so you can see the technique tape. I'm going to add a little pink on some of those. Let's go over that with pink. There, look at that. Watch all the shows so you catch the technique shows. I don't want you to miss a single thing because we do this really, really slow. And of course, if you do miss some, we have the technique tape and we have the painting packets and everything, so there's no excuse for you not to learn. We've got lots of instructional material. Come on up top. We'll put in some more of those leaves. Wiggle, wiggle, up and out. Wiggle, wiggle, up and out. And over here, let's see, do one so you keep my hand out of it so you can see. And let's go a little darker. I'm going to go into the green and sienna and do some right in the middle, right here. Right here, to set the flower back. And up here again on top, we'll bring some right out. I'll go down and get some lighter color so you can see it's right up here. Okay. Okay, now where else? We've got some down on the bottom, we've got some big leaves, some really big leaves. And let me go in dark with that color so you can see it over the gold leaf, and I swing a stem around. See that? These brushes really do make great leaves, or great stems, because they come to such a sharp chisel. We'll sketch in or fill in a leaf and angle toward the back or the base of the leaf. Do one again so you can see. Sketch it in, fill it in, angle, angle, angle. Down. Angle toward the back or the base. Let's get one in here. And maybe one or so out here. Now you have a lot more time than I do, so take your time. You may want to put leaves in a different composition than I'm doing, and that's fine. You can do that. I'm going to put some pink, and we're going to tint a couple of these leaves. You see that? To bring the edge out, tint a few. Whoa, there's a bright one. I'll reach down and pick some more up. This is that rose color. Okay, let's see if we can get in and do some daisies if we have time. We've got some little white daisies. I'm going to pick up a filbert brush. This is a rounded brush. And let's go way over here. And we're just going to fill in some petals. This is that gray, that blue-gray. They're just peeking out from behind. It's that push down and lift up stroke. They're just peeking out from behind the flower. And we'll put a little center right. Let's see, we'll swirl a little center around. There we go. I'll rinse off my brush, pick up white, pure white, and we'll sketch or paint in the front of the flower. This is a little guy peeking out from the side. Two little guys. Now remember, when you put flowers behind, you've got to go in and scoot your petals back over to set the flower behind. And we've got some little mauve flowers down here, and I'll just show you a couple. I may not get time to get them all in. You press, come on in here close. See that? You missed that. The side of the brush, and you angle toward the middle. And let's get another one in. Angle, angle, angle. Let's put a little center in. Wipe off the brush, and we'll highlight those with white. Now remember, take your time. You've got way more time than me. You've got all the time in the world. And we'll hook on some little stems. And you could put a whole bunch of flowers in here tucked underneath. You could go in with more leaves and just as much as you want, because it's your painting. You can do whatever you want to it. So I hope I've inspired you to get your paints and brushes out and have fun, and don't forget to watch us next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Doe mee aan de schilderwedstrijd van Max en Atelier met als thema circus. Maak van uw schilderij een heus circusfeest. Van acrobaat tot clown. Uw werk wordt na inzending een maand lang geëxposeerd in het Centrum voor de Kunsten te Roermond. En u ontvangt een deskundig juryrapport. Kijk op omroepmax.nl of op teletextpagina 332 om u op te geven voor deze bijzondere wedstrijd.